I wanted to go through the explanation of limits one more time just to hopefully help it make a little bit more sense. Now we're going to look at two types of limits. The first type of limits are going to be one-sided. One-sided means we come in from one side. Okay, that is what a one-sided limit is. So for instance, I'm going to look at the limit as x approaches 1 plus. What that means is I'm coming in towards 1 from the right. Oops, from the right. So what do? Remember the little stick figures I would draw? I'm going to draw my little stick figure, and he's going to be on the function on the right-hand side. And as he walks towards x equals 1, what y value is he walking towards? That y value is, look at the picture, 2. So if I start on the right side and walk towards x equals 1, what's the point I'm walking towards? A lot of people say that. They're like, can I just look at it as the point that I'm going towards? Absolutely. So let me do this. Now what if instead of going in from the right, I go in from the left? X approaches 1 with a little minus sign. My stick figure, my little person, is walking in from this side. He's on the function and walking towards x equals 1. Well, if he walks towards x equals 1, the point where x equals 1, what's the y value? The y value is 4. That's a one-sided limit. Let's try another couple of them. How about as x approaches 6 from above? So I go over towards 6, I put my stick figure on the function a little bit further away from 6, and imagine walking towards x equals 6. What y value is there? Well, the y value is 3. Now let's go from the other side. Imagine walking in from 6 on the left side, from values below 6. So where does my stick figure go now? My stick figure is right here, and as my stick figure walks towards x equals 6, the y value my stick figure is walking towards is 2. Let's try another one. I'm going to do left side and right side at 10. Okay? So let's do 10 minus. Look at the picture. What do you think the answer is? The answer is 1. Because if we put the stick figure on the function and he walks towards x equals 10, the y value is going to be 1. Whereas if we change it to the right side, move the stick figure over here, when the stick figure is walking towards x equals 1, walking towards the left, the y value there is, looks like 3. Those are one-sided limits, limits where you come in from one side or the other. Now, a limit as x approaches any number, like the limit as x approaches 3, is called a two-sided limit, because I'm saying as x approaches 3, and it's understood to mean I have to look at both sides. So if I think about putting two stick figures and say if they walk towards x equals 3, where will they meet? Well, they'll meet at this location right here, y equals 3. And you might say, but there's a hole there. That's all right. Even though there's a hole, if they could meet at some location, that will be your limit. Let's look at another one. Let's look at x approaches negative 3. Let's put the little negative, I can't really see that. So let's do this. Let's put the x equals negative 3. Alright, so as x approaches negative 3, let's put our two stick figures on. They are both walking towards x equals negative 3, one from above. This guy, if you want to think of it this way, is the limit as x approaches negative 3 from the right, and this one is the limit as x approaches negative 3 from the left. What y value will they meet at? Well, the y value they're both walking towards is y equals 2. Now, let's look back really briefly at those one-sided limits again. Okay? Now, if we were thinking about x equals 1, look back, think back. On this side, we're walking towards 2, but on the right side, we're walking towards 4. Since the left, approaching from the left is approaching 4, and approaching from the right is approaching 2, the formal definition of a limit says you must approach the same value on both sides. Since we're not, we say no limit, or does not exist. Does not exist is also okay. I usually write DNE, does not exist. And there are a couple places where the limit does not exist. See if you can look at your picture, look at this picture and find out where else the limit doesn't exist. It doesn't exist at 6. It doesn't exist at 10. It also doesn't exist at 5, because on one side we're going way up here and on the other side we're going down here. Technically, at the end points, there's no limit either, because you're only going in from the one side. Like, there's nothing over here, so it's not a two-sided limit. All right, so that's the idea of a limit. The y value, that as your x value appears, comes close to a certain, value on the x-axis. I hope this makes sense, and we are going to do a little bit more on this tomorrow. Have a good night. Thanks for your patience for letting me redo this, and I'll see you tomorrow in class. Bye-bye.